Most Python learners think that file handling is all about opening, reading, writing, but it is a lot more beyond that for a data scientist. Hi everyone, my name is Priya Bhatia, and it's been around 5 years that I'm working in this specific domain. So, over here in this specific video, I will be talking about with respect to Python, what are the different things we have to learn in file handling? Why it is important as a data scientist to have a clear understanding of this concept? What is the main difference between reading, writing, appending, exclusive creation modes? How it is actually beneficial for us to, handle and write the code of file handling in an appropriate manner using the exception handling, try except block. Usually in data science to take care of the logs, to take care of the artifacts of the model, this specific concept is very very important. So please try to watch the video till the very end so that you will be able to have a clear understanding of this concept, and whatever be the implementations I'm doing over here, please try to do it at your end. I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy this video if you will watch till the very end, and if you will try to implement all the code part with me. So if you really like it, do comment it down so that I will keep on bringing this kind of content for you all. And with that, let's get started. So let's move further. आज के सेशन को समझने के लिए मुझे एक फाइल चाहिए होगी txt फॉर्म में, ताकि मैं थोड़ा सा और बेटर वे में आपको एक्सप्लेन कर सकूं। तो थोड़ा सा टाइम दो मुझे. Let me create one scenario so that we can have a better discussion. File handling 24th of Jan. Let me create a new text document. It's a demo file. ठीक है? And when I'm opening this, let me write some text in this. क्या लिखें? You can write, this is a sample text used to demonstrate the concepts of file handling. I hope you will enjoy the today's demonstration and find the overall discussion very helpful and insightful for your upcoming career. I have mentioned few random values, random baatein, random thoughts over here. Let me save this. ठीक है? Let's close this. Done. Okay. So now what we will discuss. देखो, Python के अंदर, or maybe any other programming language as well, you will be dealing with a lot of files. So we should know that how can we handle these files in an effective way. What does that mean? It means that when I'm talking about file handling, you should know ki how can I read any specific file? That's the first thing. How can I read any specific file? That's the first thing. Once I will be able to read the file, we have to understand how can we, what I can say, close the file, or how can we understand the content inside the file, right? Inside the file. What else? We need to understand how to write the data inside the file. It's a very important thing, right? कि अगर मुझे फ्यूचर में कुछ और चीजें अपेंड करनी है, ऐड करनी है, so how can I write the data in a given file? We'll talk about that. उसके बाद we'll see if, let's say, I want to create a new file altogether. So how to create a new file altogether. right? We will see if I want to delete any file, how to delete a file, right? We will see uh, after that, once we will be able to finish this, the libraries or the modules that we have as an inbuilt modules. वो हम बाद में देखते हैं कितना टाइम बचता है उसके अकॉर्डिंग वी विल फाइनलाइज. I'm using Google Colab. And now if you have any question, please wait till the end. Last ka half an hour, we will do doubt clearing session. Usme you can come on stage and, you just share your screen and explain to me what is the problem you are facing. For now, just completely focus on what things we're covering up right away. And this is for everyone. Okay? So let's do it step by step. तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करती हूँ? Let me try to open a collab. तो इसको क्रिएट कर लेते हैं एक एम्प्टी कोलैब फाइल. यू कैन ऑल्सो क्रिएट वन एम्प्टी कोलैब फाइल एट योर एंड. फटाफट से क्रिएट कर लो. एंड वी कैन रीनेम दिस फाइल एज फाइल हैंडलिंग. ठीक है, इसको हमने रीनेम कर दिया, फाइल को कनेक्ट कर दिया. डन. आफ्टर दिस व्हाट वी विल डू, आई विल ट्राई टू अपलोड today's file that I have created just now. उसको हम अपलोड कर लेते हैं, डेमो फाइल को. txt फाइल है हमारे पास, इसका पाथ कॉपी कर लेते हैं. लेट्स कॉपी द पाथ एज वेल. नाउ आर वी रेडी? Shall I start? Step by step, let's discuss how can we first of all open the file. Just make sure कि everyone will be able to create one txt file. या फिर अगर आपको चाहिए तो let me share my txt file with you. So this is the drive link for today's content. So you just need to extract the txt file from this folder and just upload it at your end, this txt file. Once you guys are ready, just give me a confirmation so that I can proceed further. Karen, start. You have to download the file. There is a button you will see to upload a file. Click on that button. जहां पे भी आपका फाइल का पाथ अवेलेबल है उस पाथ पे जाओ और फाइल को ओपन पे क्लिक करो. And after few minutes you will be able to see on the left side you have one file available with you. I'm waiting for few more minutes so that everybody will have the file available with them. Karen, start. Everyone is ready? Very good. Now, first of all, we have to understand how can we load this file? How can we open this file? You know? So let's try to understand how to open the file. So what you can do, you can say file is equals to, you can use a function called as open. Now inside this, you can write a path of your file. आपकी फाइल का path कैसे पता चलेगा? You can see wherever your file is loaded, there are 3 dots you have. Just click and click on copy path. Click on copy path. Once it is done, after that you have to add a mode of the file. अब मुझे एक बात बताओ, आपको इस फाइल को रीड करना है या आपको इस फाइल में लिखना है? Do you want to read this file for now or do you want to write something on it? I just want to read it for now. I just want to see what I have inside this file. So I have something called as read mode. R से represent कर सकते हैं, read mode. Once it is done, now what you will do, you will say content. Now I want to read the values inside the file. I want to read the entire file, है ना? मुझे पूरी की पूरी फाइल को रीड करना है, तो कैसे करेंगे? I will simply say content is equals to file dot. अब मेरे पास सारे functions आ गए फाइल के, so I can simply go ahead and use this read function, and after that I can print the content. I can print what actual content I have inside this file. अगर आप लोगों को याद हो तो in the starting of today's discussion I have feeded some values inside a file. Do you remember that? लिखा था ना मैंने कुछ कुछ, तो वो कंटेंट की मैं बात कर रही हूं यहाँ पे. So if I'll just run this, is this the same thing I have written at the few minutes back when I started creating the file? This is a simple text used to demonstrate the concepts of file handling. I hope you will enjoy today's demonstration and find the overall discussion very helpful and insightful for your upcoming career. I think that's what I have mentioned in the starting of my discussion. यही मैंने फाइल क्रिएट करते हुए लिखा. So are you guys able to understand how we can open the file and how we will be able to read the entire content from a given file? Is this clear? Is this making sense to everyone? Shall I move ahead? So over here, what we have learned? We have learned how to open the file, and after that, we have understood one interesting function inside a file called as read method. Now we have seen that this read method reads the entire content of the file and simply returns it as a single string. तो एक ही बार में वो पूरा की पूरा कंटेंट रीड करेगा और मुझे फाइनल जो आउटपुट है वो रिटर्न करके दे देगा. I hope it is clear to everyone. Shall we move ahead? All good? All good? Now, let's suppose I'll do something interesting over here. Let's say you are saying that I just want to read only a specific part of the content available in the demo file. I don't want to look for the entire content. I just want to see a limited portion. So when you write read function, simply it will try to fetch whatever content we have in a given file and give us the entire data. But if let's say I'm saying I want to read a specific content, a specific portion, a specific part, a specific chunk. So what you can do? You can say print file.read, and inside this you can mention how many number of characters you want to read. जैसे कि I'm mentioning 6. So if I will just print this, why it's not giving the answer? It should give. Oh, okay. So at every point of time, you have to first of all read the data, and then you have to read the content. So over here, file will be opened again. And now what I'm saying, read 6. So what is happening is, over here, as soon as you will mention 6, what will happen? This will return the first 6 characters of the file. Are you getting my point? So over here, what we have to understand, one thing. When I'm not mentioning anything, it will return simply the entire data. But if let's say I have some chunk of the file which I have to read, I have to specify how many number of characters I want as a final result. So if let's say I'm mentioning it as 6, so what will happen is it will be able to read the first 6 characters of the file. Is this okay? Is this fine? Shall we move ahead? All good? Okay. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now see, based on your need, based on your use case, all these things will vary and accordingly you have to apply the functions. Okay? Now let's suppose your need is ki, no, I don't want to read a specific part. I want to read my data line by line. So if let's say in my demo file, I have 3 lines available. So what if I will be able to read, it will return to me line by line the result. Line 1 when I run, then when I run next, it will return to me line 2, then line 3 and so on. So over here, we have another interesting function called as read line. What is the function name? Read line. So I'll just now showcase you what will happen is, this is again a built-in function, built-in method we have. What it will do, it will read one line from the file at a time. So एक बार में एक ही लाइन को वो रीड करता है. जैसे again, always remember, first of all, you have to spend a time to reopen the file and then only you can work on the functions. Always remember that. So now what you can do, you can say what I want to do. I want to just read the first line. This is my requirement. So what I will do, I will say line 1, which is equals to file dot read line. Now what I will do, I will say print, and over here I can mention first line, and I can specify line 1. When you run this, you can see you're getting a first line, which is, this is a sample text used to demonstrate the concept of file handling. Now, if let's say I want to read the next line or the second line, what I will do, I want to read the second line, means line 2. I will say the second line will be line 2. Can you see? I'm getting a second line as, I hope you will enjoy today's demonstration. You want to read the third line? What will happen? Again, line 3, third line, you can see. And find the overall discussion very helpful and insightful for your upcoming career. So what you have understood? I hope you have understood that internally it has some sort of pointer कि पहली बार में वो पहली लाइन ही read करता है and it will return to us. After that, जैसे ही मैं दोबारा उस फंक्शन को कॉल कर रही हूं तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो सेकेंड लाइन से स्टार्ट होता है. फिर मैं दोबारा कॉल करती हूँ तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो थर्ड लाइन से स्टार्ट होता है एंड सो ऑन. So what is happening internally is that whenever we are using this read line function, in every moment it will try to read one line and stop at the very end. And internally it stores the pointer where it stopped, so that in the next read line function, it will start from there itself. So that's the overall idea about this read line method. Is this clear to everyone? All good? Is this clear? Shall we move further? Now let's suppose you have a requirement where you want to read all the lines in one go as a form of a list. Listen it very carefully. You want to read all the lines in one go in the form of a list. So over there we have a function called as read lines. What it will do? This method returns all the lines of the file into a list of strings. I hope everybody knows over here what is this list data structure. We have learned about this data structure in a detail, right? What kind of bases we use to create a list. When we are saying strings, a list of strings, it means first line, comma, second line, comma, third line, and so on. So basically what I will do over here, I'll just copy this code again. instead of writing uh, over here read line, I'll say read lines. Now what will happen is it will read all the lines and store them into a list. So now over here, maybe we can take a variable as line and we can just use that variable. And inside this, you can say all lines if you want to convey over here. So can you see the output? Let me just copy this output and paste it over here just for your better visual understanding. So what happens? What happens? I have used a function called as read lines. Read line एक बार में एक लाइन को रीड करता है. As soon as I use read lines, what is happening is, first of all, you can say this is a list, the kind of braces if you will observe. After that, you will observe first line. This is a sample text used to demonstrate the concept of file handling. /n means now the first line is over. Next line, again in the form of string, you can see. I hope you will enjoy the today's demonstration. Again, /n means second line is completely over. Then we will be having third line. And you will find the overall discussion very helpful and insightful for your upcoming career. So again, you can see third line string over. So over here, you will be able to observe one interesting thing, that in one go, I will be able to get all the lines available in my data in the form of a list. And at the end of every line, how actually my internal thing is checking that, okay, over here is the end of line using this /n. /n usually indicates the next line. And this is how my internal code will get to know that, okay, this line is over. Now new string will start. All good? Saurav, for here, what I'm demonstrating you, no, it's not possible via read line. In read line, it will always go in a sequential manner. Diksha, what point do you want to repeat? You want me to repeat? Simply, I'm speaking over here. When you talk about read line, it will always give you at a time one line as an output. So when you again call this read line, it will start moving to the second line, then third line, then fourth line, and so on. But when you're talking about read lines, it will try to give you and return to you all the lines in one go in the form of a list. That's it. So now with that discussion in our head, can I say that you understood the difference between read method versus read line method versus read lines method? Can I say, is this clear? Is this fine? Is this okay? Yes, we can read, we can write any kind of a file, but over here, for demonstration purpose, intentionally I'm picking up this txt file. Reading the file in one go, in the very first starting of the session, we have seen using read function we can do. In the read lines, definitely it will read the line by line content and store in the form of a list. And in the read line, one line at a time. So now if I'll just give you a quick demonstration of what we have covered up. So let me just open a Google Doc and share with you a quick summary. Can you just check and let me know, is this summary is okay? Read this and let me know, is this summary is okay? I'm waiting for a few minutes so that you can take whatever we have covered up and then we can proceed further. So you can see when we talk about read method, I cannot zoom beyond that. So whenever we're talking about read method, it reads the entire file or a specified number of characters, depending upon whether you're writing read or inside that any character, any, sorry, number. Read line, you can see read one line at a time until it encounters a new line symbol, which is slash n. Read lines, read all the lines and returns them as a list of string. See the example, see the output example and see when to use it. And quickly give me a confirmation. Is this okay? Shall we move to the next topic? Very good. Interesting. Now we are talking about the next specific problem. Okay, we have understood how can we read a file. If let's say I have already created file available, so how can I read it? There are multiple options I can see. Now let's talk about what are the methods to close the file. If let's say I have to close the file, how ideally I should close that file. So let's talk about closing the file, because it's equally important whenever you open any file to close it. Otherwise, as I think I have mentioned multiple times earlier as well, it's a wastage of resources if you just open it and you won't close it. So let's suppose you are reading a file, and maybe you did some task, you did some file operations, whatever you want to do. I'm not sure. There might be some steps you have done in between, depending upon what is the problem you want to solve. After that, it's always important that you will mention this command file.close. So what will happen is it will close the file explicitly. So intentionally you are exposing key, hey, I have opened the file. Now I have done all the operations, whatever is required. Can you now finish and close everything, whatever files I have opened? So as soon as you hit the command and when you run this, you will be internally observing that your files will get closed internally. So we have a function called as dot close. As soon as you will use this function, it will close the file explicitly. I hope it's clear to everyone. I hope it is clear to everyone. Abhishek, that's the reason is by default, it assumes that person is, opening the file for reading purpose. That's the reason. Perfect. Very good. Now, in our previous discussion, we have talked about exception handling. I hope you all remember that. If you remember in that discussion, I told you the main purpose of a finally block. Do you remember that? What was the main purpose I told you for a finally block? For a finally block? Do you remember that? I told you that this finally block uh, run even if, or maybe it will always run without considering whether your try block is running or your except block is running. So be it any block, I mean, try or except, finally block will always run. That's the whole point. So over here, always remember this closing operation that I'm talking about. Whenever you will try to open any file, uh, usually what happens is whenever you write any specific command to open a file, usually you write a try block. You will write all the file operations, whatever you want to do. So for now, I'm writing a pass over here as a placeholder. Currently, I don't have any code to write a file operation, but in future, maybe I'll write it down. And in the finally block, you will always write file.close. Always write that. Why? Because you know that this specific block will always run. So even if my try block has successfully done all the operations or not, at the very end, what I want is I want that this file will always gets closed. So that's the main reason. I hope it is clear to everyone. Is this okay? For example, if let's say I'll modify this code a bit, I'll say in the try block, I'll write some operations. What could be that operations? Maybe just now we have seen how can we read a content. We'll see file dot read. Now I'll just go ahead and print whatever content I have. I will write the exit block considering any problem can also occur. For example, one of the famous error in file handling is IO error. What does that mean? Input output error. So in this case, you can print error and IO error occurred. And if there is any other exception, you can just mention a common generalized exception by saying print an error occurred, something like that. An unexpected error occurred, something like that. Oh, है ना? Right? Now in the finally block, we will simply close the file and here you go. So because your try block is successfully working fine over here, it will be able to read the content. It will be able to display that, print that, and after that, it will go to the finally block and close the file. So that's how we will be able to get the result. Is this okay? Is this fine? Chale aage? Shall we move ahead? I hope that till so far you have understood key the read mode, its importance, and the close part of a file. How can we do that? You will have to paste the path, Mayank. We will come to that topic, Mahatab. Yes, whenever you're unknown about the error, we will always go ahead and write this kind of a generalized exception, right? That's what we have covered up in our last session also. Amazing. Now we will talk about another interesting mode that we have called as write mode. What if I don't want to only read the file? I want to write something inside that file. How can I do so? How can I do so? Okay. So, let's first of all try to see what it returns, this write mode, and then we can move further. So now we're talking about a write mode. Over here, always remember, whenever you're using this W, this indicates the write mode. This indicates the write mode, which is specifically, I would say, useful for writing in the file. So if let's say you want to write something in the file, you can write it. If the file does not exist, let's say you want to write something, but in the file that you want to write, the file is not there. So write mode automatically creates a new file. In that case, it creates a new file. Check it. Now, always remember, whenever, let's say I will just open first of all my file again. And let's say I want to add some content inside this file. For example, I'll say file dot, oh, I have to use a W mode now, write mode now, and I'll use the write function. Now what I want to write, let's say I'll write, I hope you will enjoy today's demonstration and find the overall discussion very helpful and insightful for your upcoming year, upcoming career. Happy learning. I'll add at the very end, happy learning. Okay. Now what I want is I want to add this. I want to write this in my original file of demo file.txt. So as soon as you will print the content and then you will close your file As I have mentioned, it's an important operation now. After every file operation, you will close the file. When I run this, you will be able to observe you're getting 15 as a value. What you're getting as a print statement is 15. What does that mean? Any guesses? What does that mean? Exactly. It actually indicates the number of characters in my current file. What it indicates? The number of characters in my current file. But hey, previously we have so many values, and then I have mentioned happy learning. Only 15 characters? Isn't it there is something wrong over here? And that is the important point which you have to listen. What I have mentioned, it is specifically useful for writing in the file. If the file doesn't exist, it creates a new file. But if the file already exists, very good. Good observation. If the file already exists, it overwrites the content. That's the bad thing about this write mode. Basically, if I will try to read my file again, the same file, if I want to read it again, if I have to read it again, what you will observe, I am just left with happy learning. The previous content, the previous 3 lines which were there, which is, this is a sample text. I hope you will enjoy and find the overall discussion very helpful. These 3 lines are gone. Only I left with something called as happy learning. And that's why if you will just count the number of characters over here, they are 15. So it means that if you want to use this write mode, always use when you have an empty file. Then only writing in this file will make a sense. But if you already have an inbuilt file where you already have mentioned some content which is actually important for you, never ever go with the write mode. In that case, we have other mode which you have to go. And what is that? Any guesses? Because I want to add new text on top of whatever things I have done, I will go with something called as append mode. A. So previously it was W. Now I'm saying append mode. So what will happen? Append mode opens a file and append the data at the end of the file. That's the interesting thing about append. And same thing, if the file does not exist, then what will happen? It simply creates a new file. Getting my point? Is this clear? So basically, if I'll just try to showcase you a quick demo, the same content, we will rewrite it. So what we can do, we can say we will read this. We will change the mode as append A. After this, what we will do, we will say file.write. We are using a write method only, just like the way we have used above. But the point over here is, because we are using append mode, it will just add it. Let's see whether it is adding perfectly or not. This is the first append. The second line I want to add is this one. The third line I want to add is this one. And now you can see the total character size also gets increased. So now if I'll just have to read this file and showcase you the answer, you can see. Now the files are not in the form of next line. For that, you have to do one thing. You will always have to mention /n. Can you see? Now it's a repetition of the text, but you can see when I'm mentioning slash n and rerunning the file again, you can see next line is also there. Getting my point? Is this clear? Is this okay? So if I have to rewrite the context in a more meaningful way, so I can do one thing now. I can just remove this and rewrite this over here so that it will remove the previous content, rewrite it again. And over here, we can say file.write happy learning, which will make more sense in the given file. Our characters will be more meaningful. So I'll again rewrite the file. Okay? And then I will use the append mode. And here you go. To get into a next line, you have to mention slash n at the end. Slash n indicates few minutes back when I was talking about this read lines also, I have showcased you. The slash n indicates that now our first line is over. Go to the next line. So I think this is more meaningful content now available in our demo file. Just check and let me know. This is the collab link I'm sharing with you all. Just have a look onto it and give me a quick confirmation whether till so far we have discussed about read mode, write mode, and append mode. Does all of these modes are clear to everyone? So over here in the starting, we have seen the read mode, which helps to read the file in one go. Then we have talked about W, which is for write mode. And then we have talked about A, which is for append mode. All good, right? Very good. Now we will be talking about something called as X mode. X is something which indicates exclusive creation mode. X is something which indicates exclusive creation mode. What does that mean? This means that the file will be created only if it does not already exist. So if the file is not there, then only the file will be created exclusively. If it's already there, if the file already exists, then the operation fails and it will raises a file exists error. File exists error. So basically, what does that mean? By the name itself, you can get an idea. Exclusive creation mode. It means that if you're expecting any file, if you're writing an X mode, if the file is not there in your repo, in your link, in your directory, whatever you're passing, then the file will be created seamlessly. There will be no issue. But if let's suppose you are trying to, mention the file name which is already there, then it will throw an error. So from scratch, it will create the file. But the file, if the file is already there, you won't be able to do any other operation on top of it. Error will come. What does that mean? It means that if let's say if I will say file is equals to, I will mention over here X. Is this file is there already in this path? Demo file.txt. Is this file was there? Can you see this file? in this path, content slash demo file.txt? Yes or no? This file is available. When this file is available and you're writing in X mode, it won't create any new file. It won't do anything. It will throw an error. Ki file already exists. But if let's say you will change the file name by saying new file.txt and you will run this, you can see your code is working smoothly because now it will be able to create for you a new file. So it will be able to create a new file only when the file already does not exist with the same name. If the file already exists with the same name, it will always throw an error. It will always throw an error. Always remember that. And after that, you can definitely go ahead and write something on top of this file. You can say this is a new file, specially created using X mode, not model, X mode. Then you can mention /n for the next line. Then you can again say file.write. You can say writing to this file will fail if the file already exists. Full stop. And over here you can see it's already smooth because now we have created a fresh file. When you read this file, the content inside this, oh, my bad. Let me change this to new file. And you can see the same content is available, whatever I have mentioned over here inside this file. So if you will just go with its naming convention, exclusive file creation, you will be easily able to understand the meaning of it, and you will be easily able to get a sense of what does it mean by exclusive creation mode. Is this okay? Is this fine? Shall we move ahead? Shall we proceed ahead? We have created a new file, and the name of the new file is new file.txt. Now, the last thing is, if let's say I have created something new, how to remove the file? If let's say I want to remove the file permanently, how can I remove this? Now, over here, we will be having an inbuilt module called as OS for all the operating system specific tasks. So you can see OS module in Python. So you can see OS module in Python is a built-in standard library that provides a portable way to interact with the underlying operating system. So over here, as soon as you will use this OS, inside this you have a method called as remove. Do you remember the concept of modules? So in our module, as soon as you will import any module, you have a lot of methods inside that. So you can just use one of them called as remove. And inside this, let's say I just want to remove this new file which I have created. So you will provide the path of it. And when you run this and when you refresh this, you will observe that the new file is gone now. The new file that you have created, you have removed it completely. And that's how we can remove any already created file from our repo, from our folder in a very seamless way. So these are the file handling operations that we can do in Python. I hope that you actually gain a clear understanding on it. How can we handle the files? What are the different specific modes we have? What's the difference between read line, read lines, closing? How can we do that in an ideal manner using finally block? How basically the write mode is different from append mode, and how the write mode is different from exclusive creation mode. All of these things we have covered up, and at the very end we have seen how can we remove the file. So that's the overall idea about file handling part.